How much money did I spend to get this 44,000 mile, clean title, clean Carfax Bentley Arnage? The answer may surprise you. Just kidding. It probably doesn't surprise you because I most likely put it in the title, but if I didn't, I spent only $18,000 on this Arnage. That's crazy. Have you ever heard of the term 04 rich? It means cars or houses or celebrities from the early 2000s that really give off the essence of rich. And this 04 Bentley Arnage fits that perfectly. Not only did it cost $199,000 back in 04, it also was a status symbol driven by celebrities and high-ranking CEOs and companies. It was not something that your everyday person had. Well, nowadays, an everyday person like me, it can easily buy one of these. This one cost me a mere $18,000. And for only $18,000, it seems like a steal. And in reality, it is, despite the issues which I will cover. However, that doesn't mean you should go buy one, especially if $18,000 laying around. You might as well have another $18,000 ready to go. With this being a red label, it's powered by the 6.75-liter twin-turbo V8, a true Rolls-Royce Bentley engine. BMW did own Bentley for a little while, and you could find these with a BMW V8 engine. Those are the green label, but like me and many others, people do tend to prefer the red label Bentleys with the true Bentley heart. And these engines are monstrous. They have 400 horsepower and 615 pound-feet of torque. That can actually go up on the Arnage T models. I believe those have somewhere around 650 pound-feet of torque and a little over 400 horsepower. And while these engines are amazing, there's two things you should be wary of. First off is when something does go wrong, it's going to cost you a lot of money. And second off, parts availability is very tough. I mean, finding parts for this thing are much harder than any other car I've had to deal with. To put it into perspective, a spark plug and coil pack job is a 14-hour job. That's insane. I had to do it, not me personally, I had my mechanic do it, and I was shocked when I heard the amount of labor hours that had to go into this thing. It's time to get up close and personal with the Arnage. It's a beautiful sedan, and for $18,000, it's probably the most car you can get for the money until we get into truck territory potentially. Just look at how this thing stands. Yes, my GoPro is in wide angle mode, but still you can see it has excellent road presence. This one's finished in a beautiful white color. I'll have to see what the exact color name is from Bentley, but it's finished nicely. There's no scratching in the paint either, and that's something that attracted me to this in the first place. So I bought this thing sight unseen on a Mannheim auction. It had a condition report of high 3s. It was almost 4, which is out of 5, so that's pretty good. But looks like they missed a few things that I will cover here soon. First off, I bought this pretty much sight unseen besides the photos and the video online. It was also available on the dealer's website when this was first online, so I did have access to see that old posting, and I felt pretty satisfied. Satisfied as in, I knew I wasn't getting a terrible exterior condition car. It was in nice shape, mechanically was the only question. And for the most part, it's fantastic after spending $3,000 to get it right. The unfortunate thing about these Bentleys being cheap at one point is the fact that they were cheap at one point, because people could get their hands on them and they learned by making more mistakes and usually not correcting those mistakes. Unfortunately, we've got to correct the mistakes. The first issue that wasn't necessarily a mistake was the fact that the fuel pumps were going bad. I was surprised the auction didn't catch this, but it wasn't something that I even caught in the first few days of ownership, so it was too late for me to do any sort of arbitration on. That sucks because the parts alone cost $995 for the fuel pumps, not including labor. Well, it was more like $2,000 specifically for the fuel pumps and all that work done, labor and everything, $3,000 to get it right. I'll go over everything. First, let's take a look at the first bill for $2,000. I keep it with me at all times just to show people how ridiculous it is. Whew. Here it is. 2004 Bentley Arnage. Fuel pumps, $950. The fuel filter, another $300, totaling down to that grand total of just under $2,000 for my first repair. Thankfully, that was also part to do the spark plugs as well, because this is where I get into the issue of them being cheap. Speaking about fixing mistakes, someone had put in some generic cheap spark plugs that were not correct for this Arnage, or at least for 2 of the cylinders for whatever reason. So I went, got those all replaced. Next up is the coil packs, but they're not causing really any issue right now. The other issue is the next page I will show you. This is maybe the most ridiculous thing you'll ever see, but it is an accurate quote from my trusted mechanic, and that is the cost to do the next repairs. I told him to find everything and take a look at that. That is not only what I paid for the car, but that is what I'm going to have to pay for future repairs. Oh my. Now, I did tell him to be picky, see anything that might need to be done here in the next 5,000 miles, and a few of these are pretty large, need to be done ASAP. One that is just an annoyance, you'll hear it as I drive, are the struts. They are starting to go out, the suspension system. This is, I believe, a hydraulic suspension system. That alone costs, for a front and rear shock kit, $6,200. And that's one of my problems. Another issue that this particular Arnage has is the AC. Unfortunately, it does not blow. And on a normal car, that's no issue. A few $100 later, you'll be having your AC working. But unfortunately, this is a Bentley. It can't come easy. And it costs, I think, $1,300 to do. Yikes. Thankfully, I bought this thing here in the fall, now going into winter, so it's not a problem. It doesn't bother me yet. But when it becomes 110 degrees outside in the summer, I'm going to absolutely hate it. But I won't let it get to that point. That'll probably be one of the next things that I fix. Thankfully, it is mostly mechanically sound at the moment, and there is things I will have to do. But in the meantime, I get to ride around in luxury. Take a look at this interior, how beautiful it is. I have the wheel turned right now, but look at this leather. It's extra plushy, extra comfortable, 2-stage heated seats, automatic windows, the Bentley logo right in the middle of the headrest. If we open up the rear here, there's lots and lots of room, tables that fold down, nice wood all across the interior. Again, super plushy seats. They look very minimal use on the rear here. Carpets are in absolutely fantastic condition. The only issue is I need to figure out whatever that is and get it fixed, but it is in immaculate shape back here for the most part. The Bentley Flying B logos on the top of the headrests here. Open this up for a storage compartment. No cup holders here, oddly enough. I forget where they are located in the rear. I'll find that out later. The seats back here do move up and down, so you can adjust it a little bit. That is a super nice feature. Not that I will ever be using it necessarily, but if anyone does go back here, that is nice. There is a rear shade as well as these mirrors, which were optioned for this Arnage. The trunk button is here. Press it, opens up the trunk, which is part electronic. Lift it open, and there's a lot of space back here, like a ton of space back here. I don't know if you can really see it in this video, but these are size 12 shoes. These are my gym shoes. And look, size 12, size 12, it's quite large. And here's how it electronically closes. And if you don't want to press the button for whatever reason, There is a key slot right here that you open up this B and you can put your key right inside. The most common question I get is, does that flap up and down while I'm driving? No, not at all. It stays in place, probably magnetic. The front end of the Arnage is absolutely beautiful as well. I like this headlight design. I almost prefer it over the redesign. Something about this front end makes it look almost more substantial than the redesign. That is just my opinion. I think more people do tend to like the redesign, but this, for me, I like this. Now, it sounds pretty good. Besides some mechanical, it sounds pretty good. But it's also my luck that it got damaged in transport, and that's what we're about to take a look at. Right here was damaged by transport, and the worst part is I didn't actually take delivery of this. I had someone else take delivery of it for me. No hard feelings, but man, that sucks that it was damaged in delivery. Transport, of course, wouldn't cover it after we signed off on it. So only part that sucks about it is the fact that that light is really hard to find. I've been looking for a long time. Hopefully I can find one. Otherwise, thankfully, not damaged, needs to be buffed out and just tweaked a little bit, but no other issues there. And then again, my luck is this headlight started to get moisture in it, so I'll have to be replacing that surprisingly easily. It's only $400 to $500 to do, and on most other cars that I've owned, headlights have been much more, like my XLR, which cost $3,000, and the Cayman I had cost $1,500 for one headlight. Getting in is also a treat in this Bentley. The key, pretty nice little key. This one's a bit chewed up. I might have to replace it, but it is a switchblade key, just like that. Getting in is also amazing. Little button here that you click. Oh, that click never gets old. The door is extremely substantial. Listen to how it sounds when it closes. Starting up the Bentley, being an older British car, I like to put the key in, turn it for about 5 seconds, or when that light turns off, it's about the same amount of time. Once that turns off, which is just kind of my indicator, actually the door's open, then there we go. Sitting in the Arnage is amazing. I'm going to turn on my heated seats, stage 2, because it is a bit cold today. Yes, I know, I'm wearing short sleeves. You're going to immediately notice, if it picks up on camera, there's a little squeak from the back. That is one of the struts or shocks, whatever, going out. The brilliant thing about this car is its ride. It's unmatched. I've had Cadillacs and driven lots of cars because I work at a dealership. Nothing beats out the Bentley. Nothing. At least yet. I'm sure you can mention some Rolls-Royce or some other car, but for me and what I've owned, this has been the best ride ever. This is not a light car by any means. I'll put the weight up on the screen here. It is large, it's heavy, but it glides. And this engine, with how much torque it makes, really propels this car to 60 in not a bad time for what it is. I believe it's somewhere around 6.5 seconds. Again, not impressive for, say, a sports car, but for such a luxurious sedan, it impresses me. The leather in this Arnage has aged really well. As far as the wood goes, there's some cracking starting, but nothing too major. One thing about this car is, with how big it is, there's just so much room on the inside. It feels amazing having this much space. You can see out of all the corners of this car pretty well. The mirrors are a little bit small, but that's just a minor gripe. The only blind spots are where those mirrors are on the interior. Something else you'll notice if you ever buy one of these or drive one is the amount of looks it gets while driving. Every time I go to a gas station or just to some place, I will almost always have a person comment on the car, and it's always positive. Wow, I haven't seen one of those before. Wow, it's a Bentley. Most people don't realize it's an 04. Yes, they know it's a little older, but they don't realize it's as old as an 04. And when you valet the car, they tend to park it right up front. The road presence that this thing has is incredible. Driving by, it's such a large sedan that is designed so well. Most people are taking the time to look at it. It's almost like a neck breaker, is what some people call it. How much money did I spend to get this 44,000 mile, clean title, clean Carfax Bentley Arnage? The answer may surprise you. Just kidding. It probably doesn't surprise you because I most likely put it in the title, but if I didn't, I spent only $18,000 on this Arnage. That's crazy. Absolutely the most car for the money. I can't name another car that is this substantial, this luxurious for the price. So I guess the question becomes, should you buy a cheap Arnage? The answer, even coming from me, is no, unless you really don't mind the challenge or the risks that come with buying a more affordable Arnage. I would personally recommend to buy one that's fully sorted out, spending a little bit more money, getting a pre-purchase inspection, and making sure that you're not going to run into any problems in the near future. But I still do enjoy every moment that I have driving this thing, despite the money that I do have to put in it. But of course, this won't be the last video with the Arnage. This is just the first video. I'm going to document my process of ownership throughout a long period of time, hopefully, and show you the problems I run into, the repairs I spend and do on this thing, and hopefully return this Arnage to be the perfect Arnage that I've always dreamed of, which it's not too far off from. It just needs a little bit of love. Anyway, do follow me to see what happens with this Arnage and me, my sanity, my money, that probably will be non-existent after the ownership of this car. I also have other vehicles that I've began recording with. I have a truck, hint, hint, that I've already pretty much made a video for, just need to round out, then I will post it. But I'll be doing a lot of things with a lot of cars. I work at a dealership, I go to car shows, I'll be taking this and a few others that I have to shows as well. See where this takes me and where it buries me, and subscribe to see all that happen. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.